This is one of the few habits that actually changed my life. This is one of the few habits that actually changed my life. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. A life-changing habit that I adopted that you can also adopt too. But first, by liking the video, by subscribing to the channel, by hitting the notification bell, by interacting with this video on said social media platform, you will be able to send validation emanating from my laptop screen into my nostrils, through my lungs, and it will come back out into my soul, into the universe, and spread positivity everywhere. So please do that. Okay. Habits are both good and bad. Everyone's always talking about how to build the right habits, and it can quickly turn into something where I like to call it habit porn. Actually, I stole that from James Altucher, one of my favorite writers. He talks about, how we turn ideas and we make them pornographic, where we become obsessed with them and we're more of like mentally masturbating than we are adopting habits that actually change our life. So no, you don't need a productivity app. You don't need a bunch of Evernotes. You don't need a crazy color-coded calendar. You don't need to track all your steps on Fitbit. You don't need to drink green tea every morning. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to do everything. But there are a few habits that if you practice them regularly can really move the needle. And one for me that has moved the needle more than any other habit by far is journaling. So why is journaling so important? Journaling is important because there's just something extra about that mind and body connection. So often when you're thinking about your goals, they seem kind of vague. They're in the back of your head. They're not as concrete, but they're not as visceral. But for whatever reason, the minute you write them down, the minute you have to connect what's going on here to motor movements of your body, it just seems to solidify things a lot better. So on top of, the number one habit in my life was writing. So building that writing habit helped me, find a career I loved. But alongside, to help generate those ideas, I was keeping a journal. I have stacks of used notebooks, stacks of note cards where I was writing down quotes to use for books in the future, stacks of ideas. I adopted a practice also from James Altucher of writing 10 ideas every single day. Those ideas can be about anything you want. Usually for me, they're article ideas, video ideas, ways to improve my business, ways to be better at networking, things like that. But I've been writing down 10 ideas for the past 5 years. So doing the math on that, that's what? I don't know, 20,000 ideas. So I've personally come up with 20,000 ideas and marked them down into a journal. What do you think that does for my brain? What do you think that does for my ability to be creative? Why do you think it is so easy for me to come out with content? Since I put up this channel, I've been at a pace of like 5 videos per week. I write a new article almost on a daily basis. And people ask me how I'm so prolific. It's because I practice coming up with good ideas. I practice articulating my thoughts, and journaling is a great way to do that. So even if you're not going to be a creator, even if you just want to make sure you're setting the right goals, if you want to sift through what's going on in your mind and articulate what you're really thinking, if you want to become more creative, journaling can help you do that on so many levels. So there's so many different journaling techniques that I use. The 10 ideas every day helps generate ideas. I also write down 3 things I'm grateful for every single day. I write down 3 things I'm grateful for because I'm very ambitious, and it's hard for me to keep myself grounded and be happy with what I have and, fail to look forward into the future. For you, writing down 3 grateful ideas can be something that maybe you're not on the too ambitious and you haven't been doing enough yet, but, if you're feeling down about your life, you can use gratitude to talk about, things that you're grateful to have. Like at the end of the day, being safe and having a roof in your head and food in your mouth are things to be grateful for. So you just balance those levels of gratitude with that journaling technique. Every once in a while, when I'm feeling creatively blocked or if I'm feeling stuck with something in my life, I'll do something called morning pages. So morning pages is where you write down 3 pages of unfiltered thought. You can write about anything you want. And the point of that is once you learn how to do free association and you start writing, all of a sudden, like maybe the first page will be kind of nonsense, but on page 2 and page 3, you'll figure out what was going on in your life that caused that problem. You'll figure out what's blocking you from making that idea come to fruition. You'll figure out that little blind spot that you had in your mind. And journaling, again, it just helps you become a better thinker. And just journaling and writing in general, what it does is it makes you understand whether or not you really know what you're talking about. Often we think we have these great ideas, we think we have these great notions, we think we're in tune with our own emotions and with our own thoughts. But when you are forced to articulate exactly what you're thinking, exactly what your ideas are, exactly how you're feeling, exactly how you're relating to the world, you have pause and you're like, maybe I didn't have this all sorted out. And through the process of journaling, you will sort it out. And so I have so many different journaling practices, and I just believe in the power of writing, period. Writing is a through line that, ties together civilizations. You, regardless of whether or not you're a writer, you have to communicate. You have to become better at communicating both internally within yourself and externally with other people. So journaling is a great way to do that. You can do 3 grateful things every morning. You can do 10 ideas every day. You can do morning pages. I write down affirmations. I'm kind of a self-improvement nerd. I do a lot of this stuff. I don't encourage people to go to the extent that I do it because they don't put the work behind it. They need to just get out of the starting gates. I'm just really refining my thoughts and course correcting over time, which is why I have pretty elaborate and specific self-improvement and journaling routines. Just pick something. Write down 3 things to do for the day. Make a to-do list. Write down 3 goals. 3 goals for the week. 1 goal for the week. 1 goal for the month. 1 goal for the year. Just get in the habit of articulating your thoughts on paper, and you're going to realize that you're more creative. When you're writing things down, when you're articulating your thoughts, you're going to be able to spot opportunities better. So when you were writing out and fleshing out your cool idea, something out there in the environment is going to connect with what you wrote, and you're going to be like, oh, that's the sign I was looking for. But had you not articulated what you really wanted, maybe you'd miss those opportunities. If you're in a creative field of any kind, you better be writing down ideas, because ideas are the currency that you're going to use to sustain yourself. And yes, it's really good emotionally. Emotions are hard to process because we have a ton of mental chatter. They're hard to talk about because we don't necessarily want to open up to other people and tell them all of our problems and all of our deep-seated, sometimes even dark thoughts. And, journaling is a comfortable place for you to let your emotions out and you physically release them instead of holding on to them. So I encourage you, keep a journal for the next 6 months and you would be surprised at the kind of results you'll get in your life. Write things down, track your life more, focus on articulating what's going on inside and outside, and you can improve. Okay, You 2.0 is the book. There are writing and journaling exercises in the book to help you articulate your thoughts. Go check that out on Amazon. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Like the video. Share with your friends. Ayo, out.